So this conversation begins with the statement, little man. Yeah, little man. You know how you talk to your child, your boy child, and you tell people, hey, this is my little man. Yeah, this is my little man. That's what you tell people. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good to make sure that he understands he needs to grow up in the image of a man, and he needs to do things when he gets older to take care of himself and his family. But I think unintentionally, we might be doing a disservice to our children. Unintentionally now, not intentionally, but unintentionally. Just think about it for a moment, especially single women who has a son. I've realized by talking with so many young children from the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 10, 11, 12, our boys feel like they are the little man in the house. And it's a clever little saying, it's a nice little saying, we giggle about it, we laugh about it. But when you look at reality, those little boys are starting to take on the image of little men because they're listening to the conversations of their mothers and everyone else around them. Even when they leave their grandparents' house, the grandparents are telling them, hey, make sure you take care of your mother now. Make sure you take care of your siblings. And don't get me wrong, it's okay to show him the way, but it's something to preempt 17 years out of the way. That's what we're doing. We're preempting him from, we're basically promoting him from 5 and 6 years old to 17 and to 22. That's what we're doing. Like I say, it's unintentionally. This world has changed with social media and with all the things that we've gotten involved in, all the distractions in life. This world is fast paced. It's not the world we used to live in. I mean, it's the same world, but it just doesn't have the same influences, the same cultures. And so when you're talking to your little man, just remember when you're talking to him, he's listening. When you see him on his little video games and you're on the phone with your girlfriends and you think he's not listening, he's listening because you turned something on inside of him. Yeah, that little testosterone that he has, that little bit that he has, that stuff is kind of growing real fast in his mind. He's thinking that, I need to really support, protect, and provide for my mother. That's what he's thinking because he's hearing your heart. Because you're crying, you're bleeding on your son. Versus you leading him, you're bleeding on him. And so he's taking that in and he's trying to figure out in his little bitty mind, how do I make a difference? How do I support my mother? How do I provide and protect for her? And that's not his responsibility. But that's what you've done without knowing. You've turned something on inside of him that I don't know if it's possible to turn it off once you turn it on. He now sees the deficiencies in life. He now sees the limitations that you and him have. And so he's trying to figure it out of what can he do. Now, it's not within the realm of his mind to really be creative enough to come up with that. But he's trying to think through it, so he's trying to think about what can he do. And by you coercing him, by you provoking him to move forward and to be your little man in a playful way is what you're doing, but he's taking it in a serious way. Because that's in his DNA. In his DNA is to protect, to provide, and to support. That's in his DNA. His DNA is to compete. But it should come at a later age, though. It shouldn't be turned on at 5 through 10 or 5 through 12. It should come to where he's really ready to battle manhood. Now, it's nothing wrong with sharing with him what he should be and what he should be like and what he should emulate and the things that he should want to be like and have in his life. I'm for that. But what I'm not for is you turning things on that he cannot digest. No way, no how. I know he's a smart young man and you love him with all your heart. All I'm asking you to do is take a step back and just realize what you're turning on. You're turning on some things that you just can't turn off. You're waking up things inside of him that shouldn't be awakened for years to come. You don't intentionally mean to do it, but it's happening right before your very own eyes. And so he's scuffling with it. He's tormented by it. He's getting in trouble at school and you're trying to figure out what's going wrong, what's going on. And he won't tell you because he's your little man and men don't tell. He realized the rule, snitches get stitches. And so he don't want to tell you. He's playing the men game. He's not playing your little child game. He's not playing the adolescence game, and he's not playing the teenager game, because guess what? Because he's a little man. And so little man don't tell. Little man take it. Little men deal with it. And so that's what he's heard from grown-ups. That's what men do. That's what men should do. And so he feels, since he's a little man, he should take it. He should just go ahead and provide and try to protect the best he knows how. You know what's really happening? His mind can't hold. It doesn't have the capacity to hold all the things that a grown man can do and should be holding on to. And so that's why we see our children thinking the way they're thinking. Suicide and mental issues and not the capacity to really grasp all this world has to offer, because they have been limited. They have been hindered by the way we talk and the way we position them into places to do things that they shouldn't be doing. It would really honor your son if you take a step back and try to turn off some of those things you've turned on. It would really honor him now as a young child, where he can really enjoy his childhood. The things that you've done in your life, that's on you. Shame on you for trying to put that on your son. Not intentionally, but that's what's happening. Your conversations, he's listening. All those negative things that's happened to you, all the heartaches and the brokenness that's in your life, you're transferring that to him. I know you don't mean to, but you're doing that. And so he's walking around with this load on him that he doesn't even know how to comprehend or how to share. All he knows is he loves his mother and he wants to get her out of trouble. And so he's trying to figure out, how do I make this work? And guess what? When he can't figure it out, it becomes frustration. It becomes frustration. And when you don't see him crying on the outside, believe me, he's crying on the inside. He's just holding this within. See, women, girls cry on the outside, but men, we cry on the inside. And outwardly, that inner cry becomes anger on the outside. It's frustration on the outside. That's what it turns into. And so when you see him getting in trouble at school, it's because he's crying on the inside that he can't digest this. He can't handle this position he's been put in. That's when it comes outside of him in anger. It comes outside of him of being a bully. That's what takes place. That's what can take place. I'm not saying you're a bad mother. I'm not saying you're a bad father. I'm just saying be very careful of what you're turning on inside of our children. Be very careful, because you can't turn it off as quick as you think you can. Once you ignite a fire, it's hard to put it out. And so we're igniting fires inside of our young men. I would love for you to take time to show him what it is to be a child. Let him have the fun that he needs to have. You take care of your grown-up issues. They're your issues. They're not his. He didn't make those bad decisions. You did. Stop looking for him to be your savior. He's your son. Stop looking for him to work it out. You work it out. He needs to have fun and be playing with children his own age. Not disconnecting because he's so connected to you, but disconnecting because it's the right thing to do. He's just 10. He's just 5. Please give him a break. You had an opportunity to get your stuff together, and you still have an opportunity to get it together going forward. Take time to get your stuff together. Let your little man become your little boy. Be blessed.